state of our church in 2021. It almost seems like a joke, like some comedian should be giving this address rather than me. How is the church doing ever since a lockdown was imposed 10 months ago? Since the entire world began staying at home or masking up in public, since hugs and handshakes have given way to elbow taps and fist bumps. How's the church been doing since all that stuff? Okay, I'll give it a go. I want to say some quick statistics from our church before the pandemic struck. Y'all, we began 2020 with the best stewardship year this church has ever seen. Our Sunday attendance through March 8 of this past year was up an amazing 17% from the previous year. Our vestry had just finished an extensive process of visioning and defining our core values of acceptance, nourishment, empowerment, and action. Our youth were just months away from their first pilgrimage trip to Alaska. The mediator was thriving in every measurable sense until it all stopped. On March 11th, we would have our last Wednesday night Eucharist and parish supper. And on Friday, March 13th, we would receive word from our bishop that our church doors would be closed until further notice. The first thing I want to say about my experience during this pandemic is that each of you, this entire church, you have been incredibly supportive to me, to my family, to the church staff, and to each other during this extraordinarily challenging and frustrating time. This pandemic was and continues to be a season of continual change and strict precaution, coupled with unknown timelines and shifting directives. Ministry has had to adapt. We have had to change how we worship, how we communicate, how we teach and learn, how we gather while remaining distant. We have sought to remain authentic to the traditions of the Episcopal Church while modifying our methods to respect the very real, very deadly dangers of this virus. And through it all, you have been unbelievably supportive. Speaking for my family, Emily and I cannot thank you enough for your support. We have heard countless stories from friends across the country, and I've read way too many church articles of clergy being harassed or bullied by their congregations. I've heard a lot of cruel stories, but I have not experienced one. And that is rare, and that is due to you. At a time when we have all been stressed, you did not add to my anxiety. You were kind and empathetic. You allowed me time to be creative and experiment, to learn how to film and how to video edit, how to post things online. You stuck with me through my early blunders. Your vestry encouraged my dreams of reaching you with high-quality video content. They provided the resources we needed in a timely and abundant manner. The response was quick, and it ensured impactful ministry throughout this pandemic. And I do believe our ministry has made an impact. We have created over 100 videos with a total viewership in the tens of thousands. People not just across Meridian, but across the country are connecting with our church through our worship, our sermons, Miss Dana's Sunday School, Emily's Vacation Bible School, or our various topical videos addressing the complexities of race relations, political tensions, and the ambiguous losses that we have felt throughout this pandemic. These videos have propelled our mission to share God's unconditional love with a wider society, to an even wider society. And the people have responded. They have liked, reacted, commented, and shared our content. They have felt connected to our mission, all thanks to your willingness to try something new with me. Thanks to you, these past 10 months have been an exploration for our church rather than a hibernation. But this year did have its difficult moments. Through it all, life continued. And as would happen in any year, this year we felt significant losses along the way. Mary Gibson, Don Herbert, Bob Harmon, Elaine Brown, Bob Glazer, Bill Skaggs, Charles Floyd, Doris Martin, Hyla Skewes. 9 friends. Mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, brothers, and sisters. 9 friends died this year. 7 died during the pandemic. Now, grief is always complex. However, this year we experienced a gravity of grief previously unknown to our community. Grief in isolation. And I want to commend you all for how you handled these difficult moments. Though we were not able to come together as a church family to support one another, you nonetheless extended love to the bereaved in ways which were profound. Your determination to embrace pain and struggle with love of God knows no bounds. Your creativity and compassion illuminated new paths, new ways of ministry, even amidst the restrictions of this pandemic. The Mediator Barbecue was another example of your determination to support our community through difficult times. At a time when I was hesitant, you persisted. And led by the Van Veckhoven clan, we reimagined our most visible gift to this city, and it was an incredible success, raising over $13,000 in sales. And with a generous donation of $3,000 above and beyond that, we were able to match last year's grants to our local nonprofit ministries. In a year full of fear and scarcity, you responded with generous abundance and hard work. Who would have known that we would tackle so much when others were timid? You see, back in April, shortly after our services were canceled, the Finance Committee met to discuss the possibility of a contingency budget to face the potential fiscal shortfall. While the committee decided not to alter the budget, but proceed with caution, we in the office tightened our belt on normal expenditures. We then began to focus our resources on upgrading technology to meet our current and future needs. We created a filming studio in the old rector's office, a conference room with Zooming capabilities in the back room of the parish hall. We outfitted the staff with new laptops capable of video editing, which also enabled working from home in the event of quarantine. To help alleviate these new expenditures, we applied for a community grant that focuses on technology and distance learning for nonprofits. With the help of Randy Kemp and Alice James, we applied for the Payroll Protection Program loan, and we secured over $50,000 to aid the church during the early months of the pandemic. Yet your giving remained strong, enabling us to tackle massive property improvements throughout 2020. Just one look at Jim Quick's Junior Warden report in the annual report will fill you with awe for all that we accomplished. A new industrial refrigerator in the parish hall kitchen, a new boiler for the church, new roof for the education building, new HVAC system and ductwork in the parish hall and in the kitchen. These were only the big projects. Today, Jim joins the impressive company of retired junior wardens who gave their all to this church. Thank you, Jim. You all should also thank Jim when you see him. And folks, because of your generosity, we were able to accomplish all these projects and still begin 2021 with over $50,000 in the Property Improvement Fund, with the probability of another $50,000 once our PPP loan is forgiven. We began 2021 in the strongest financial position of my 5 years at the Mediator, even amidst a pandemic. Yet with all this talk about property improvement, I don't want you to think we spent it all on the fiscal plan. In 2020, we dispersed over $83,000 in outreach. This is funding to support the life and ministry of the Diocese of Mississippi, the education and formation of clergy, our food pantry, and local organizations and individuals who find themselves in need. At a time when it would have been so easy for us to be frightened and focused inward, I'm proud that our focus remained outward in support of our community and our mission. You know, in many ways, this church has not skipped a beat over these last 10 months. It has been exciting to see how we have grown, how we have stretched from our comfort zones to embrace a new way of being church. Yet as we move forward, There's a very real hope on the horizon that restrictions will ease and life will once again resemble what it once was. Now, I am no longer foolish enough to make any projections on that timeline, but I can tell you it has my utmost attention. Because, well, you see, we have a unique opportunity ahead of us as we return to normal gathering. We have the ability to discern and plan how we wish to move forward as a church. For the first time since this church began in 1958, we have no habits. We have no momentum dictating how things must be done. So we get to choose this for ourselves. What is important from our past that we wish to rejuvenate? What things should perhaps stay in our past? And what things must we dream for the future of the Church of the Mediator? It's the ever-present question: how can we grow in our values of acceptance, nourishment, empowerment, and action? Y'all, our church is ripe for growth, both spiritually and physically. I truly believe that. This past year, our message has spread throughout our city and beyond. People have watched our authentic, creative, joyful, hopeful, loving church family. They've seen us in action. They have experienced our worship. They have laughed with our videos and even dined with our drive-through takeout. It's about time we invite them to be a part of our love. Because we are better when our mission grows, when God's unconditional love is shared, when people feel accepted, when their bodies and souls are rejuvenated, when their Christian beliefs are empowered, and when they put into action God's love as seen through the life and example of Jesus Christ. Folks, this is our position and our opportunity. This is the state of our church in 2021. I love you. God bless you. And goodbye for now.